Hi everyone, I'm Jay Theo, and today's video will be another installment of the Question Bowl of Truth, where I pull a random question out of this bowl that encompasses life, love, relationships, dating, career, sex, all these different topics, and I answer it raw, unfiltered, on camera. So let's go ahead and dive into it and pull the question. Okay, y'all, let's see. Ooh, this is a good one. Has being black and gay shaped how you give and receive love? Yeah, I definitely think being black and gay has shaped how I give and receive love. First off, I think there's so many stigmas with being black and gay and being a man and showing love that I feel like it's definitely took me a while to even figure out how do I show up when it comes to demonstrating love. And I mean, it's one of the reasons why I really haven't had that many relationships. I've only had one true relationship in my adulthood, and that lasted about 4 months. So, and even in that relationship, I feel like we both were figuring out how we showcase love. So I think one thing about being gay and being black, but just being gay in general, I think a lot of us don't have the experience of showcasing love and receiving love. So a lot of times when we're in a relationship and we just start dating, that's when we kind of are trying it out for the first time and we're experimenting, and it can be chaotic and it can be messy because we're both kind of going on this adventure together and figuring it out. And I think a lot of people like to base their next relationship and how they show love and how they demonstrate love based on how their last relationship worked out. But a past experience doesn't mean it was the right experience or the experience that you should look at. And if you don't have experience, then I feel like sometimes you look at the person that did have experience. So I feel like there's a lot of ways it can kind of ebb and flow when it goes to giving and receiving love. One thing about me is that I've been single for so long that I have read books and done research and talked a lot in therapy about love. I have had professionals tell me what experiencing love should be, and when I have been dating, I've been in therapy before, so I've been able to talk to them about what was going on in my relationship or while I was dating somebody to get more understanding of love. And when it comes down to it, this comes from one of my favorite Bell Hooks books, which I'll grab real quick. All About Love, which you guys can see. I love this book. This book changed my life, by Bell Hooks, All About Love. And what her biggest thing with it and how she defines love is that love is a verb. And love is about how you support and like how you show up for someone with action. And a lot of people like think love is a feeling. And love, you can say it's a feeling, but at the end of the day, love is how you act and how you show up and how you support someone. And that's how I look at it. And I feel like communication is a big key of that. It's understanding and asking, how do you want me to show up for you? How can I be a support to you? I think asking and honoring somebody's actual wishes for how they look for support and how they look for connection, I think is a big way to show up and show love. And through all of my understanding from therapy in this book and either other people that have been in relationships, I definitely feel like asking the questions, communicating. I want to show love based on what my partner actually requests, what they actually need. I know we always talk about love languages and we have our own love languages, but I think what's even more important is your partner's love languages and how you can honor those love languages and having those conversations. But a simple thing is like, you know, asking your partner how do they like support? For instance, if they're during a stressful time, if they're stressed at work and they have a lot going on, like how do they want me to show up for them? I think a lot of times people in relationships want to like be mind readers and they want to do things they want to do to show up for their partner. But I think actually asking the questions and being inquisitive about your partner is, to me is a smarter way to do it, because then you hear it out of their mouths. And yes, I mean, we all want to be spontaneous and we all know things that can make someone feel good, and you learn things about someone after a while when you're around them for a while. And honestly, when I date guys, and maybe this is being TMI, but I do keep a notes in my phone of like their favorite color, their favorite candy, their favorite restaurant, their favorite TV show, what kind of, if they like jewelry, if they like hats, if they like certain things. So when I'm buying gifts, I note their sizes down in my phone. Like, this is something I do just because I want to remember, like, okay, If he wants a gift, he loves hats. He loves jewelry, and his hat size is this. At the end of the day, yes, it's great to have things to memory, and if that's how you can move and shake. But for me, I show love by actually noting down things that my partner likes, that my partner has interest in, or seeing things that my partner doesn't like. I used to note down in my phone the foods that my partner didn't like, so I would know not to ask them to go to that restaurant because I feel like I'm honoring the fact that they don't like that. So I feel like actually taking the actual interest and really understanding and knowing your person and understanding how can I take that knowledge to then show up and show them in ways in my actions. I think that's how I know that's how I want to show love. I can make sure that they're being understood, make sure that I'm showing action, and still making sure that I'm communicating and asking questions and always making sure that I am constantly being inquisitive about them. And some people say that I ask a lot of questions. Some people say that I don't always like to let things flow. And I'm not saying that I can't work on that when it comes to a relationship, but I feel like I always rather ask the questions than be in the dark or to be questioning, you know? In the same way we receive love. I want somebody to ask me, how can I support you in this? I'm not saying you want somebody that you have to walk through every step, but I don't want someone thinking they know how to support me when they can just ask the question. And I feel like I'd rather have someone be inquisitive and interested in how I operate versus just trying to create it on their own. I definitely feel like I receive love when somebody being inquisitive. I also think I receive love. I mean, I have done the love languages and quality time. I want to see my person. I want to be around my person. I want us to experience each other. And the way I receive love is going on dates. Is actually experiencing the city we're in, is actually going places where we can get to know each other more. I want to see how you operate on dates. I want to see how you operate on vacation. I want to see how you are when we go shopping. Like, I feel like I want to experience my person fully, and I feel loved when that person wants to experiencing things with me. And that means like things out in the world. I don't receive love by just sitting in the house and just watching Netflix and having sex. That's a part of it. But if that's every day, that's not how I receive love. My ex, when we were dating, a lot of times he wanted to sit in the house and watch TV and have sex. But it's like, okay, but when are we actually gonna go out and go on dates? I was planning all the dates. I like to go on dates. I like to see the world. I like to see what you're interested in. I like to experiencing things with my person. So that's how I receive love, is through experiences, through quality time. Acts of service, and like I said, action, somebody showing up and supporting me, that's how I receive love as well. If you show you can support me when I'm going through something and be there for me, even just like listening on the phone or being like, hey babe, I know you're going through it, like you need to vent, you want to hear it, or if you don't need to vent, just know I'm here for you. I think those kind of things is super important to me. But if I am sick and I'm not feeling well, they go get me a smoothie, or they make sure that they cook dinner that night because I'm not up to it. Because one thing I don't understand is somebody dating someone and it really makes their life so much more difficult. Like that to me is not showing love. I'm not receiving that love. I'm not here to be anybody's parent. I'm not here to be anybody's mama, anybody's daddy. That is not what I'm here for, and I don't need that from you either. You don't need to be my mom, my dad, but we need to make each other's life more convenient. We need to help each other make our lives a little bit easier, because to me at that point, what's the point of having a partner if life is harder or more difficult? Also, the way I like to receive love is someone who is like open to trying new things, open to being adventurous and trying things with me. If I can do something new with someone, that is one of the most dynamic ways that you can show love to me. Because even with my friends, when my friends do something new with me or do something adventurous with me, that's how I feel love. Like when my friends jumped out of a plane with me, both times my different friend groups jumped out of a plane with me, I felt so loved and I felt so supported and so connected with these people. And I feel the same way about my partner. If my partner jumps out of a plane with me, if my partner wants to do something crazy, adventurous with me, travel the world with me, try new food with me, be open to that, that to me is how I receive love. Like that to me is just such an honoring thing, to want to experiencing new things with someone. That to me is just so captivating. Like already I'm like, that turns me on. That makes me happy, is when someone wants to experiencing life with you. And that to me is showing love. Another way I receive love is just someone who really has that interest to fully also understand me. And when I say understand me, is like when I operate a certain way, like being open to understanding why I operate that way and being open to have a conversation about it. And also same thing, I want to be so in love with somebody that I really do want to fully understand how they operate, and to a point where I don't judge them, where I can give them grace when grace is needed. because we all have our flaws. But when someone can actually try to understand why you have that tick, when somebody can actually try to be supportive or just give you grace when you have those moments, I think that to me is true love. That to me is someone that really wants to connect with you, because we all have those friends that do certain things, but it's like, I know that's how my girl operate. I'm just gonna let her have her moment, or I'm gonna give her some time, or you just know how to handle them in this moment. Like, okay, this is happening. I'm gonna let her do her thing, or I'm gonna support her in this moment. I know how to help her, because then when you actually seek to understand somebody, you know better how to support them. You know better how to be there for them in ways that you may never have known if you didn't seek to understand. And I think seeking understanding is just a different level of compassion you have for someone, and a different level of honorability that you give someone, because you are, because to me that just shows like a real genuine interest when you want to understand something. It's kind of like reading a book. Like, you may like the cover, but if you don't want to open the book, you're not really that interested. And I feel the same way. Like, you may like me as a person, but if you don't want to fully understand me, then to me you don't have real interest in me. And I've dated guys, and I've been on dates before where I can tell you like what you're looking at, you like the energy, but you don't really want to seek to understand me. And I feel like that's why open-mindedness is such a key for me when it comes to dating, is because I need somebody that is open to expanding their mind and open to seeing things from different perspectives. And I challenge myself to do that as well. That's something I really want to challenge myself as I'm dating again, is to be more open and understanding of people, and not to judge so quickly, and not to be so turned off so quickly, and give people grace on things that make sense, but to also just be more open-minded as a person. And lastly, I feel like a way that I receive love and I want to give love is just honestly being nice. I know that may sound very like minimal, but like, I really do not want a partner that thinks being mean is a trait of being in a relationship, that thinks being aggressive, that thinks arguing is a trait of being in a relationship. I don't receive love that way. I don't show love that way. I don't like arguing with my friends. I don't like arguing with my family. I feel the most connected to my family and friends when we are not arguing, when we are being nice to each other. I feel like there's ways to have conflict and not argue. I think there's ways to show concern and not be aggressive. There's ways to de-escalate things that shows you care, that shows you are there for me, but doesn't have to be this arguing, this craziness. Like, I just feel like I'm not someone that honors that. I don't want to argue. I'm not going to argue. I don't want to physically be in fights. I'm just not doing any of that. I know that's some people's MO. That's how they think relationships are supposed to operate in gay world or in relationships in general. That's just not how I operate. I like niceness. I like us being able to be like, okay, let's take a beat. Let's discuss this. Like, if we have some conflict, like, okay, let's just like tone it down. Let's figure it out. We all have emotions. We all get heated. I'm not saying that can't happen, but so I want someone who thinks like, let's de-escalate, let's tone it down, let's wind it back. Because I really am not trying to argue with my partner all the time. I'm not trying to be screaming. I'm not trying to be doing all that. That's not how I receive love. That's not how I show love. And that's why I think just checking in. I want somebody that checks in. I want to be somebody that checks in. I want to be able to be like, how are things going? Do you feeling good about us? Like, I want to be able to check in and have those conversations and that be okay. And that person also honors that. Showing up and showing that you care about the future and the progression of the relationship, not being an autopilot in the connection, in the relationship. And I think the same way about friends, like showing up, being there, checking in. These are all ways that I feel like you show up and you show love, and I want to receive and give love in that way. I do want to spin it back to the Black and gay aspect of the question, because it said, how has being Black and gay shaped how you receive and show love? And I think me being Black and gay has just made me want to do more research to figure out, how do I best show love, to read books, to go to therapy, to take all these extra steps, because I feel like in our world, there is not a good representation of how we show love. As Black gay men, we're always figuring it out as we go. And I feel like at the end of the day, like, I took it upon myself to figure that out, and I'm still learning, but I think that's how it shaped me. Is I feel like as a Black gay person, I never felt confident in how I received love in the past and how I was shown love. Even my parents, I don't think that was like the best showcase of love. I love my mom, and my dad's passed away. That showcase of love also wasn't something that I really desired. I think a lot of us Black gay men can relate to this, is that we don't know, so we're still figuring out. But I think taking the steps to go to therapy, to read books, to be inquisitive with people who you feel like have great relationships, to figure out what is a great way to show up. But I think at the end of the day, it's communicating, being real with the person, showing up for the person, communication, when it comes to receiving and giving love. I feel like as long as you do those things, you'll be on the right track to have a relationship, or at least to better understand if this relationship or this love isn't right for you. So hopefully that answered the question, but I also want to hear from you guys in the comments. Please let me know how being Black and gay has shaped how you give and receive love. I definitely want to hear it in the comments. Please let me know. Let's continue to generate this conversation. Let's continue to generate this discussion. And if you guys are liking this series, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and let me know if you're vibing with it in the comments. I really would like to know. I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing your feedback. Until next time, stay proud, stay real, and I will see you guys on the next video.